Subscribe, motherfucker.
What's up, everybody? Kind of salty because the past few gyms that I've gone to, they changed into a summer schedule, and now there's not really anywhere to train. Something I really don't like about living in the Midwest. But fortunately for me, there's a big, huge field. So I'm gonna do what I can. The ground seems pretty hard, but I don't think it's gonna be too bad. So I'm gonna get out onto this field, I'm gonna do some stretches, and then I'm gonna get some tricks in. What's good, everybody? Hopefully you enjoyed the tricks. I am clearly still not 100%, but hopefully I'm getting back into it, just having some fun. So for this beat of the week, I'm really excited because E3 just announced a new Metroid game, and so I thought that I would revisit a remix that I did a long time ago, but kind of redo it. So we kind of have a boom bap, 100 BPM type beat, and I'm really excited for it just because it's super simple, which I'll show you here in just a second, but it's kind of in the spirit of, you know, video game stuff, because if you couldn't tell, then you might know or might not notice that I like video games and video game music. So let's talk about what's going on. This is our beat. It's super duper simple, and it kind of came together honestly in about 10 minutes, and I didn't really want to do a whole lot else to it because I didn't really want to overproduce it. And sometimes it's important to know whenever you make stuff that, like, if it sounds good, it sounds good. So let's go ahead and play a little bit of a snippet of this. It's a nice little boom bap 100 BPM type tune, and this is what it sounds like. Really like this one, man. Sometimes simple is way better. And for any of you guys who don't know already, like, these kinds of beats and stuff are kind of checks for me, for one, to keep me putting out music or just doing stuff. If you like this tune, then you can become a top tier member and then download it in the Discord. There's stuff here at the bottom to kind of help out with that. But it's cool because sometimes you put so much time into doing micro edits and sound design and all that, and it was really cool that I didn't really have to do hardly any of that this time. The samples were so cool that it kind of did most of the work for me. So let's take a look at what we did. The first one is from Area 5, Sector 2, Brinstar, Red Soil, and that is from Metroid Samus Returns. So cool, man. From the kind of Red Soil, it's like a remake of Super Metroid's Red area, Brinstar, lower Brinstar area. So I pitched that down by 4 semitones, and honestly, I haven't really touched anything else regarding that. The second one is actually the same tune, but from a different game. So if you take a look at this one, this is Torvus Bog from Metroid Prime 2, but you can see that the cadence is a little bit different. Super cool. So I pitched both of these to be the same. By the way, Serato sample is amazing. If you don't have Ableton and you need a really sick sampler, this is one of your best options. I just wish that they had more warp modes, but we're not really here for that. Pretty much all I did was I left this one to be by itself. This one is actually just a copy of this one, except it's pitched up, I believe. So instead of -4, it's +8, and I've kind of just added some reverb and low pass or high pass EQ to that. This one is also high passed, I believe, because you don't want to have like too many layers of the same frequency range in there, and it's also going through a little bit of reverb. Then everything is being sidechained pretty much to just this drum kit that I have, which is this cool loop that I found that I'm not even really sure where I got it, but it sounds like this. That's my kind of hip hop. Now I did make some subtle variations to it. So there are some places that I broke this beat. For example, this right here, I created my own fill that was trying to maintain the same timing because you can tell that there's a little bit of swing to it. So something like that, and then just, you know, easy like stops to where you stop the beat. That stuff can be really powerful whenever you have kind of like these boppy type beats, and then it can also allow some other instances, especially like if you have a vocalist or something that's trying to emphasize a bar or a punchline, having those kinds of breaks can be really beneficial for these kinds of beats in that way. The only other thing that I added to this was just a ride loop, or a ride sample rather, and then I kind of just tried to make it match the same timing as the rest of the loop. And you can see here it's for the fill that I've cut this up in just a couple of places to make it match that timing of the do-do-do-do. And those are like small details that you kind of want to be mindful of whenever you are making beats like this, especially because the kind of offbeat or swingy groove of boom bap music is so important. And the more awareness that you build with that, the easier that you'll be able to kind of line those things up and recognize. So aside from that, on this here, there's just a little bit of Haas effect. There's also just a super high passed EQ. And then on this, it's being sidechained to the main loop. And one thing that I'm doing with the sidechain here is focusing just on the lows and the low mids. So that way you're only getting the kick and snare. And then I've got a Wolf compressor over here to make it more quote unquote lo-fi. So if we take a listen to the entire loop without this, it sounds like this. With the lo-fi. To be honest, you can't really tell, but this does add a little bit of white noise over the top too, so it kind of gives it just like a little bit more of a vinyl feel. And then obviously you can see that I've leveled everything out just a bit to try to mix it in that way. The only thing that I have on my master channel is a limiter that's pushing this up pretty loud. And that's pretty much the beat. If you guys are brand new to the channel, I upload a tricking video along with a beat breakdown every single week. There's a lot of stuff that I've started doing every single week as well, and we are currently on the 4th episode. So if you like this kind of content, whether you like to see my ninjism or martial arts related things, or you like to learn about how beats are made, then please do me a favor and subscribe. And if not, I would still appreciate if you liked the video or so. I've got a ton of resources, a ton of ways to support the channel in the description, so you can check that out. But other than that, guys, let me know if there's something that you want to see, or if you have any questions, or if you've got any tips or something that you would do differently regarding this genre, because again, I'm somebody that's always trying to learn as well. So thanks guys, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.